All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are going to unpack what is truly one of world literature's most profound and complex masterpieces, Dream of the Red Chamber. Now, I want you to know, this isn't just a story, it's an entire universe captured on the page.
So, right from the very beginning, the novel presents us with this puzzle. This line, which the main character actually reads in a dream, gets right to the heart of the book. What is real? What is an illusion? And, can you ever really separate the two? This is the central question that kind of haunts every single page.
Okay, so how is a universe this complex even built? Well, it turns out the novel structure is every bit as important as the story. See, it doesn't just follow a simple, straight path from A to B. Instead, it's this carefully architected world of mirrors, dreams, and interlocking tales. The story is told episodically, so instead of a single, direct plot, it's better to think of it as this vast, sprawling chronicle. Each chapter just adds another layer, right? It introduces new events, new points of view, and it slowly weaves together this rich tapestry of daily life for a really powerful aristocratic family, the Jia clan. The philosophy underneath it all is really built on this constant balancing of opposing forces. So a chapter that's just brimming with joy and action might be followed by one of quiet sorrow and contemplation. You'll see these ideas of social duty, the really rigid expectations of family and state, clashing with these ideals of personal freedom and being in harmony with nature. It's this constant push and pull that gives the whole world its incredible depth. And this is where the novel gets really clever. The entire tale is presented as a story that was found inscribed on a stone. So even as you're getting completely lost in this incredibly detailed world, the author's sort of constantly winking at us, reminding us that we are, in fact, reading a work of fiction. Okay, so now let's see how this really intricate structure serves the novel's grand themes. This is where we get to explore the big ideas about life, society, and destiny that really drive the whole narrative. I mean, this novel really grapples with some of the most fundamental human questions out there. It explores that tension between fate and free will, It looks at the inevitable decline of power, the conflict between what you desire and what your duty is, and it really dives into the complex lives of women in a patriarchal world. Take the theme of fate, for example. It's literally woven into the origin of the story. The entire plot is framed as a three-part journey. It starts in a celestial realm, then it moves into the mortal world for a human experience, and then finally it returns, completing a karmic cycle. This structure really suggests that the characters' lives are all just part of a much larger cosmic plan. The novel is also a really profound social commentary. We literally watch the Jia family, who were once so powerful and influential, just slowly crumble under the weight of their own excess and moral decay. Their decline becomes a powerful symbol for the impermanence of all worldly power and status. This quote, it just so powerfully captures the conflict at the very heart of the characters' lives. For the men, and especially for the women in this world, personal happiness and romantic love were often sacrificed for family duty and social standing. It's a world of constrained choices and, frankly, heartbreaking compromises. Now, these grand themes, they aren't just abstract ideas. They are lived and felt through some of the most memorable characters in all of literature. They are really the emotional anchor for this vast and sprawling world. The emotional core of the novel is, well, it's a love triangle. At its center is the young hero Jia Baoyu, and he's caught between these profound connections he has with two of his cousins who are very different from each other. So, his two cousins represent two completely different ideals of womanhood. On one side, you've got Lin Yu. She's the poet. She has this exquisite intelligence, but she's also fragile, passionate, and incredibly sensitive. On the other side is Shui Baochai, the pragmatist. She's socially intelligent, poised, composed, always dutiful and restrained. They are perfect foils for one another. And then, caught right between them is Jia Baoyu. He's the rebellious heir to the family, a talented but sensitive soul who completely rejects the rigid expectations of his society. He'd much rather spend his days writing poetry and enjoying the company of his cousins than studying for the very demanding civil service exams. Over the course of the novel, Baoyu goes to this profound transformation. He starts out as a rebellious youth, resisting his family's expectations. Then, he has a tragic awakening where he's forced to confront loss and the complete collapse of his world.
This journey ultimately leads him to a spiritual renunciation, where he abandons secular life to seek a deeper truth. So, the big question is, why has this novel, written centuries ago, not only endured, but actually grown in stature? Let's take a look at its incredible legacy in world literature. Well, for starters, its place in its home country is absolutely undeniable. It's revered as one of the four great classical novels, a true pillar of that nation's literary tradition. In fact, the novel is so rich and complex that it has spawned its very own field of academic study, known as readology. Think about that. Scholars dedicate their entire careers to dissecting its themes, its characters, and all of its hidden meanings. It's so much more than a book. It's a cultural institution. Bringing such a monumental work into other languages is, as you can imagine, a huge challenge, and the two landmark English translations really highlight this. You have The Story of the Stone by David Hawkes, which prioritizes literary elegance and that poetic feel for readability. Then there's A Dream of Red Mansions by the Yangs, which emphasizes a meticulous and literal translation for accuracy. Both are just incredible achievements that open the novel up to the wider world. So, in the end, the novel's enduring power really lies in its duality. It creates this universe of total realism, one that feels so psychologically deep that it seems more true than life itself. And yet, at the very same time, it's constantly reflecting on its own fictional nature. It manages to be both a perfect illusion and a profound meditation on the nature of illusion itself.